What's up, my fam? It's your boy Pop Pop. So I'm all red because I'm upset. And old people, it's funny when old people get upset because we shake. We're like, you young whippersnapper, you young whippersnapper, you know. So I got to log my medicine. 66, 91 right, 12.5 to Norman at 1:30 p.m. So I would not have believed it if I just had not experienced it. But Walmart repossessed my groceries. Walmart repossessed my groceries. I thought the lady was joking at first. She's like, I got to take them back. You know, I said, for real, I got to take them back. She had a real heavy accent because she didn't speak a drop of English. You know, why would anybody speak English in America? You know, so there wasn't any communicating with the lady to solve the problem. What's up, Art? Happy Monday. Yeah, Walmart repossessed my groceries. So you know that show Green Acres? Green Acres where Eddie Albert moves to Hooterville and everything is wacky and he lives on this crappy farm and he can't get the wall fixed and he can't get the phone installed and all that other stuff. So in any case, last month I contacted Meals on Wheels on behalf of my neighbor who's like 70 years old and weighs 80 pounds and is literally starving. Okay, literally starving. So I contacted Meals on Wheels. I went to the sign up portal where you sign somebody up and then it says donate. Okay. So I signed up my neighbors. I made a donation that should have covered their food. And they never got the food. They never got signed up. So in any case, Meals on Wheels comes by for me and I end up giving the food to my neighbor. All right. I end up just passing the food along to my neighbor. So then I don't have anything to eat. So I was like, to heck with this. I'll just go back to ordering food. And then when I have a day when I feel well enough, I'll cook on that day and pre-package the food so I can go to the refrigerator and just pull a meal out and heat it up. So in any case, my neighbors banged on the door. Bang, 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 bang. Pop, we ain't got no food. We ain't got no food. So I gave them a couple of these real cool containers that has a meal, a side, and a dessert, all snapped in this nice little plastic container that I got from Amazon. Well, they were like, to heck with it. Why should we go anywhere when we got Pop Mart next door? So in any case, this weekend we do English only on the comments, please. So everybody knows what you're saying. English only. Okay. Thank you, Art. So in any case, I love all of you, but this is just a hangout. So, talk to each other in the comments and all of that. I'm not going to stop for each comment because I always get behind and I get off track. So, and I want to rant about Walmart and their crappy service. So, in any case, this thing with my neighbor and giving away my food to my neighbor uh, has become a regular thing. So, I'm like, well, I'll just skip the whole Meals on Wheels thing. I'll go back to ordering uh, bulk food, rice and beans, and then cooking my own stuff and pre-packaging it. So, and like I said, my neighbor comes by and they're like, great. Uh, uh Goodbye, Peachy. So this guy decided to be a jerk and overload the comments section. He's gone. So in any case, we always talk about Jesus, but I'm upset with my Walmart experience. So I'm going to bash on Walmart for a little bit because it's well deserved. So in any case, I had $50 so I could order from Walmart and get the free delivery. So I ordered from Walmart. They came within an hour. The lady was very nice. She sat the groceries inside the door because I'm in a wheelchair. And she backs up and she says, now I need the code, Tennyson code. Do you have a code? I'm like, what code? Nobody ever asks for a code. Amazon doesn't ask for a code when they deliver. What do you mean a code? She says, I needed that code. And like I said, she only spoke like 5 words of English because, after all, if you live in America, why would you be expected to speak English? So this Arabic has got to be removed, Art. I am not going to translate Arabic right now. So in any case, these companies are so dumb because, when they deliver something, that delivery message doesn't get transmitted, sometimes for up to a half hour or 45 minutes, you know? So she's hanging around at the door, tapping her foot. And I'm looking through all of my phones for this magical mystery code that, for some asinine reason, does not transmit in the Walmart app. She said you have to go to your messages or SMS or email. Okay. Well, messages, SMS, and email are 3 different modes of communication. All right. And I have more than one phone. So, in any case, she's getting on customer service because she's been at the door for like 15 or 20 minutes. She wants to go. And instead of resending the code, she just canceled the delivery. She's like, I got to take your groceries back. I'm like, well, what about my money? I paid my money. She said, oh, you'll get your money back in a week. That means I'm $50 short that I can't use that $50 to order off of Amazon or Instacart or Harris Teeter or Fresh. I got to wait a week for my money in order to order groceries. So I was doing the old man thing, shaking and all upset. And I checked my blood pressure was sky high. That's why I'm all red. But I will not order anything from Walmart after today. So nobody said the devil ever makes sense. You know, that to me is the stupidest system of you order something and they put it out in the open for anybody to walk by and steal instead of just knocking on the door and handing you your stuff. You know, if the driver was smart, he would come up, knock on the door, and then as he's getting the stuff out of the truck, you can you can get to the door in time. So no food, no money now. And it's so ridiculous. Like I said, lady doesn't speak a drop of English. Instead of asking me, you know, well, maybe we should resend the code and see if the phone will ring with this magic code. She just canceled the order. I got to take this stuff back. So now you got old ass groceries that have been sitting out for an hour, delivery time, the packaging time, the time that the lady's been asking me for the code. And then it's got to go back to the store. And it'll sit in a cart and turn bad. And somebody will get poisoned food now because they'll put that food back on the shelf around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I've seen these stores, I've been there, and they don't put the food back immediately when people decide they don't want something and they're in the wrong department and they put perishable food, in the bread section or something, and then they just walk away from it instead of, being diligent and putting the food back where it belongs. And then somebody else buys that food and they get sick off of it. So I trust God. There must be a reason. And I kept my witness. I didn't get angry with the lady. And I still gave her a tip. But yeah, I'm done with Walmart. And when they give me the money back, they'll take a delivery fee out. They'll take a driver tip out and all of that other stuff. So they're not going to lose any money. But Bailey, I say hi to you all the time. How can you be that needy that I got to hold your hand and say hi to you 1,000 times? Oh, Bailey Smith matters, world. Bailey Smith is out there, and we better say hi to Bailey Smith because Bailey Smith might jump off a building or something if we don't affirm Bailey Smith. So let's hold hands and sing Kumbaya. And everybody on the comments, please say hi to Bailey Smith so Bailey Smith will understand that the world loves them. So I don't have a backyard, Alfonso. I live in a hotel. I don't have a backyard. I love the comments. We'll just, you've been bedridden for 8 years living in a hotel. Just go to your backyard and plant a garden. I mean, for real, folks, come on now. So Jakey's doing that thing 1,000 times, and all that other stuff. Bailey said, thank you. Okay, Bailey's happy. I managed to make one person happy today. So now I feel like I've accomplished something. So Katie says, hi, Super Gamer. How am I? I'm tolerable. Thank you. I look like Santa Claus. So, anyway. I look like Jack Black, but Jack Black is rich. Now, granted, Jack Black is probably Jack Black is probably on his way to hell. So, Super Gamer says, are you the Santa Claus? Are you the Santa Claus, buddy? Is bro the Santa Claus? How old are you? I'm 70 years old from Washington, D.C. Super Gamer says, Op Man. Cadence says, hi. John Phillips says, you're right, Mr. King. So, yep. Anyway, fam, I'm going to go. I was just ranting a little bit about crappy Walmart service. And that does not go well with talking about the Lord Jesus and the gospel. So I'm going to go. It was just a quick hangout. Maybe I'll maybe I'll come back on. Thank you, John. Maybe I'll come back on later after a nap and a fresh outlook. Pops out.